been around for a long time, but it's only been in the last 10 years or so that their population has grown to what we have today. In fact, if you could go back in time about 15 years and tell the hams you would meet then that they were amateurs whose only operation was via repeaters, I'm sure they would think you were crazy. Now for the next few minutes, we're going to take you on a trip around the area and look at all the repeaters we are familiar with here in southeastern Connecticut. Now we will see how some of them started, how they got to where they are now, and where they're going in the future. So sit back and let's go, okay? W1LCJ, AI1D, we're all set here.
I'm Bill Page, W1LCJ, and we're here at the site of the 1373 repeater in Norwich. I'll let you take a look at this machine and see what it really looks like. Over here in back is the outside cabinet that houses this repeater. Let's take a look inside. This is the back door. And in fact, I think we can hear somebody talking here.
Good morning.
Yes, indeed. There's somebody on the repeater right now. Okay. Here at the back of the repeater we have a device up here. This is a telephone controller. This is our hardline control by telephone. And moving inside, up in this area, as you'll see from the other side, is the power amplifier. Below that, the exciter. There's a cooling fan here. Here is a control basket. We have next a receiver. Down in here is the identifier. Another control basket, and I won't get my fingers too close to that guy on the bottom. That's a 2,000 volt power supply with a few odds and ends down there. We have a special cavity here. I see that this is for emergency purposes. Can you get a shot of that? Yeah, we leave that here just in case. You never know. Okay, well, let's take a look around the other side and see what we've got. Okay, here we are. This is the front of the repeater, and we can take a look in here. It's kind of tight. Up here is the power amplifier assembly. And this device is capable of running approximately 400 watts output power. Obviously we don't run it that high for many reasons. It's probably about, looks like about 100 watts right now, I'd say. And we've got a signal up here. Let's see if we can, let me show you this one first. We'll turn this up.
We're working on the repeater today.
Who's up? Oh, what we got here?
So, I don't know. See what they have to say. Okay, Rich, I'll find some way or other.
Well, we'll talk to them in just a moment here, as soon as they complete their conversation. Okay, this basket I've just opened up here is the main controls basket for the repeater. And there are several plug-in cards here. Let me show you one of these things. Now this is what we call the beer card. This is the guy they get you if you talk too long and you got to buy everybody a beer. Let's put that back in case we need that. We don't want to miss out on something here. Okay, moving along, there are other various cards in here, particularly this one over in this section is called a scroach gate card. This is what makes this device a repeater. Without that, it would be just an ordinary radio. Let's see if we can talk to somebody here real quick. WA1FWO, this is W1LCJ.
W1LCJ, WA1FWO.
Hi, Dick. We're here at the repeater just doing a little demonstration. Thought we'd say hi to you briefly.
Okay. Hi, briefly. Oh, no, you were supposed to say that.
Okay, very good. All right, I've got to go. Thanks, Dick. We'll talk to you later. WA1FWO, W1LCJ.
Okay. Very short there. Okay, I gotta go.
Okay, very good. There we go. Okay, let's look at what else is in here. Up here above this device is the exciter, the RF exciter, and let me just do one thing here right quick. We're going to flip a switch. There we go. I don't want to get my fingers into something I shouldn't be into. This is the RF exciter solid state device. Oh, you can't see it. There's a little power supply over here. And we look down. This is the receiver in this drawer. It's also a solid-state device. Just below that is the HAL ID unit. And below that, another card cage. There's not much in there right now. That's some more control stuff, what have you. And the power supply on the bottom. So that's what Big Bertha looks like here. And we've got another building right behind me which houses some more equipment. We'll take you over there and show you that. Okay, here we are. This building behind me housed the original 7.3 repeater. The old original Progress line, and then after that the Lafayette. Those are gone now. Inside we have there's a wooden housing here. This was a temperature-controlled enclosure. There's not much to see in there. It's empty at the moment. That's where the old solid-state machine used to be. Back in here is the duplexer that we're using at the present time. That's an old North Shore duplexer, one of the original designs that were available for amateur radio. It was made up in around Boston somewhere. Okay, well, that's about it. Down here on the ground, and up there, that's the comes out of up there.
Too old for this kind of stuff.
I thought I was going to have to go down and get you.
Well, no, I made it.
Okay, well.
$1 for every time we were up here.
Here we are. Yeah, we've been up here in some very interesting conditions.
With the tail end of a hurricane.
Right on.
And a blizzard.
I'll have to take a look around here. Okay. We're looking sort of easterly here, out towards the Atlantic. Kind of windy up here, too. You can probably hear it blowing in the microphone.
It's only about 28 degrees, too.
Yeah, right. This is Route 2 going towards Colchester. You can see it right over there. There we go. There's a windmill, and looks like this fellow's making electricity over here on the horizon. A great spot for it. Plenty of wind up here.
As Bill said, we're back on the ground, and I'll tell you, every time that we go up that thing, it seems to get higher and higher. It's at least it's about 1,400 feet by now, but actually the antenna itself is about 120 feet above sea level, and one of the best spots, I think, in eastern Connecticut. Here's Bill talking to some people. We'll see what they say.
Gene's going to give me the microphone back here, and let's see, I have W1FWO and W1GTT on here, so I'll let them say hello to you. Say hi to the audience, guys. I guess the cat got their tongue.
Well, I thought you was going to play it back to us. Well, we'll say good morning to everybody out there. And let Richard, he's the broadcast expert. We'll let him get his 2 cents worth in. And Dick, is your house pretty well all situated and done so you can get your ham radio gear up in Salem, Connecticut?
Go down the road at the next repeater.
Take care. Degree temperature on Plain Hill. We're now on the other side of Plain Hill, at the site of the W1OOW repeater. Now this repeater started in life as the 7.3 repeater, but as life goes, so goes repeaters. We got W1OOW himself here, who's going to tell us a little bit about it. And come on, Vin, you're on. Whoops, here he is. Okay.
Yes, this used to be, as Gene mentioned, the 7.3 machine. Now it's the 06 machine. And the thing which makes it unique in this area is the fact that it's microprocessor controlled. Perhaps first I should go down the rundown of what the equipment actually is. 146. And that has been modified, separated, encased in bronze, gold, and copper, and every other precious metal for shielding purposes. And we have a nice faceplate on here. On the left, we have the duplexers, which also were the ones that were used on the old 7.3 machine. nothing too fancy. Right in front of the duplexes we have a small, it's about a 40 watt, as I recollect it, amplifier, which we can kick in and out as we desire. But it's a Kim 1 microprocessor, and we've left the front panel open for people to go in and out to clean the insides. The cleaning lady goes in there and so forth. Unfortunately, here on Potapog Hill we have very high winds, and unfortunately also the winds took their toll. That's why the machine is not on the air right now, but we're going to come up with a little heavier hunk of pipe pretty soon and a little bit better antenna.
Phone 2 here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Here. Yes,
I feel more
hello.
at home here.
Yes, here we go. Okay, now come on, we got to do this dance. Not bad. Okay, here we go. 3 down, down, down.
We're out here on the island, and we're going to go digging for clams. There's Ray's dog out there. We're going to dig some clams, and then we'll go in. We're going to talk to Ray and Walt about how repeaters got started down here. Uh-oh. I'm trying to keep up with everybody here. I bet it's cold out there. Look at that, the real thing. Well, you know, you're probably wondering just what does this have to do with amateur radio?
I wonder too.
What did you say? I didn't quite get that.
Right? Hey,
Can you repeat that?
That again?
You got enough audio?
Sure.
The first trustee of the first repeater in southeastern Connecticut, after 5 years he made enough money he could retire to Fisher's Island and dig clams.
We're going to be looking right now at the 6-7 repeater site across Fisher's Island Sound. Now I'm sure you can see it right up there. Tower. And this is the location of one of the remote receivers for the 9-7 machine. This is for the link receiver. And above it you see a 2 meter. I'm being attacked by a mad dog here. You see a 2 meter beam, and on top of the tower above the TV antenna is the station master.
Sir, hey, come on, get out there.
Oh, being attacked again. All right, we're here at Ray's place with Walt, W1LW. And fellas, I'd like you to just tell me a little bit about how repeaters got started here in southeastern Connecticut. Back the old, what was it, the 1994?
1979 to begin with.
Ah, that's
so
it.
Walter said.
And in 1994, but it really started back sometime before that when Ray came to one of the Tri-City meetings, and he told of a group of Delcos that were going to become available at $20 a copy, and
From the telephone company.
From the phone company, and all of us who would get a QSL card to him would be first to be considered. And after we got those darn things, it was obvious that simplex operation around here was going to be bad at best, and we heard a word called repeaters, and we began to think about building one. But no one knew how to build one or what the heck what made the repeater work, and what frequency we would choose. And with a little investigation, we chose at that time 1979, which caused a little dissension from some other amateurs up in the Vernon, Connecticut area.
We sort of went off on our own and formed scrams. We didn't get full cooperation from Tri-City, so we decided to form our own little group. We started with about 12 people, and I guess we got up as high as 100 members.
Now we had about 140 at our peak.
At our peak time, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of heartaches, but in the long run, we proved it could be done, and we did it.
And we learned a lot.
Oh, you bet.
Well, it certainly has come a long way. It's not quite what it used to be. And Walt, don't you have a little scrapbook? Can we see some pictures of that original?
Oh yeah, back then repeaters were not ready-made. You had to kind of put everything together. And here's some items that Ray, it seemed, primarily built to get some of the...
Now that is the original control circuit. We had two Kramer timers were donated by Kramer Controls over in Saybrook. One is the ID timer, and one was a talk-off timer, 2.5 minutes. And this little code wheel up here used to send out my call at the end of every 2.5 minutes. The relays in here that operated all this, and then what we used for an audio mixer was an old telephone company repeat coil. The audio wasn't the best, but it did work.
What are we looking at here? An antenna?
Now this is the original antenna Ringo. Before Ringo ranges, we had a Ringo stuck down in the field 300 feet away from the transmitter with its own receiver, a prog line receiver with a COR, carrier operated relay, and we sent the audio from here and the control back 300 feet up to the transmitter side on top of the hill.
Well, this is a little bit after that time, but the transmitter set in the rack up there in the town civil defense shack. And later on, we were able to bring the receiver and place it alongside the transmitter, and we had a audio cathode follower circuit down below which conditioned the audio prior to getting into the transmitter. If we could put the transmitter and receiver in the same house, we had to come up with a duplexer, a device that lets you transmit and receive simultaneously on the same antenna. And this was our first duplexer, a homemade device here. And then the top of it here, it's got markings on it that we then had changed our frequency to 1994. Later on, we were able to afford and come up with a commercial duplexer by Sinclair.
Not yet. Oh, okay. Okay, this is the SWR power meter that Walt Wooten built when he worked at the League. And now we're in a full complement. Everything is in the same case. The transmitter, the original code wheel ID, the original circuit with the timing in it, our receiver, and this is a telephone dial-off circuit where we could remotely turn the repeater off. And at the bottom we have a tape recorder where back in the beginning you had to record the first IDs of all of the callers using the machine.
The Scrams repeater had a 250 watt amplifier on. It allowed us to really be heard down here, but it kind of heated up the duplexers and we didn't leave it on for very long. All right.
Okay, what's this tape recorder here?
Here's a tape recorder that was put on. Bill Page, W1LCJ, built it, and one of the unique features of it was that it would record for 5 seconds the call signs and then shut off. And as the tape got low, an arm would drop down and change the tone of the ID, signifying that it was time to get up there and put a new roll of tape on. A little more sophisticated, we had more mixing actions necessary and had a little problem with all the audio, so audio mixer was designed by W1CER from the League, built by W1NUH locally, and this allowed us to mix the receiver audio to the transmitter and also the auto patch for telephone calls, etc.
Various pictures of the different antenna work parties that we had up there, and most of the time if you see somebody up on the top of the tower, it's Walt here, W1LW, who was NTH then. NTH meant nobody trusted him. But he was usually up the top of the tower doing all the monkey work, and this is the original 50-50 tower. We had 50 foot of original and 50 foot of an addition. It has since been replaced with a 100-foot Roan 25.
Ray and Walt, I'd like to thank you for a very informative session here, and we've seen an awful lot of things from the past on repeaters, and sure to appreciate it. And it's been a great thing coming over here and visiting with you, Ray, on the island.
Too bad the tide was a little lower.
Yeah, I know. We could have found some more clams, right?
Yeah. And if they all don't work, they're guaranteed.
Okay, very good. Hey, we'll see you later, and we'll be going back to the mainland here across the old briny.
Just coming up to the site, Ernie. Take a look at the battery installation with you there.
We're coming up Fort Hill to the site of the 6-7 repeater, which is, as you know, a Scranton repeater,
the garage and
came into being in the early 70s, one of the first repeaters in southeastern Connecticut.
Very good.
Okay, what, the garage down the road, you think got it?
I'm not sure. Who do you think will have it? Any guy? We'll see anyway.
Okay, we can take a look, see what we can find. There's a store down the road there too. They may have it bottled. We may be able to look at it that way.
Okay, local.
Very good. W1 TMX clear.
Hey, what are you guys doing down there?
We're filling up the batteries in here, Bill. Why don't you come in and take a look?
Impressive set of batteries you've got there, fellas.
That cell's got to go.
Yeah, I was kidding. I was
take that one out of there.
A big link in the back.
You've got one that's a little dry, do you?
Yeah.
Well, that one's gone.
Yeah, I see. Backup for the 6-7 repeater, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, what do I see over here in the back? I see a panel over there behind Gary. What is that now? Is that part of the system? Looks like a generator panel.
Yeah, it is. It's the emergency generator.
Repeater site. Looking at the back of the building here. Pan up and look at the antenna one more time. All right, let's turn around. What do we got in here? Is this the business end of things?
Yeah, this is a repeater in here, Bill.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this.
Show you what we have here. We've made some improvements. This is the new receiver we have online now. The Spectrum receiver board is inside this panel that the club packaged using that board. This is one of the satellite receivers, one of 3 that we have packaged in this manner. And we'll be putting that online and doing some experimenting with that in the coming year. The selector is not shown here, but that's built as well.
So what do we got down below there, Gary?
This is the battery switching panel that Ernie K1 GFL put together.
Okay, I see a power supply down here on the floor.
Yeah, that's the, was that a VHF Engineering, I think, supply that we purchased.
Okay.
This, of course, this is the Lafayette transmitter that we're using right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's one of the boys coming in on the receiver right now. Yeah, this is our forward reflected power meter in this panel.
Yeah, we usually not talk to you in a while.
Turn the gain down a little bit on that. Right now we have a 110 volt powered mixer, which is going to be replaced very soon by an all solid state mixer to run with the computer. That's the current project we're working on. This is the receiver that Scram's packaged, Ron W1A and K and myself, W1 TMX. using the Spectrum receiver board. It has metering, as you can see, where we can check the functions here at the site. The communication ID, which will be replaced by the computer as well. This unit will come out of here, as well as the core board.
That's the Sinclair hybrid ring, and looks like you fellas have put a new ring on here.
Yeah, that was fabricated by Ron, W1A&K, using double shielded coax on those connectors. We had installed that.
I see a cabinet over here on the wall, GE cabinet. Bet you there's some history behind that guy back here. Gary, I understand that no repeater is complete. My God, will you look at that?
Yeah, it's kind of a rat's nest.
Yeah, but that's what makes it work, though. You know.
Oh yeah, it sure does. Of course, all that's going to go when we get all the new gear put in the rack. We'll have to do some lead dress and make it a little more professional. But right now, it's real Hamish.
Now, up the river to the top of Vinegar Hill, which is the site of the W1LW 220 repeater. And with us here now is W1LW himself, Walt Wooten, and he's going to tell us a little bit about this machine.
Well, this is my third generation repeater. It started out about 7.5, 8 years ago as WR1AKN, and I've gone through the normal growing pains. And this is the final results of it. It operates on a frequency of 22294, 22454. At the moment, I've got a 450 receiver, which has an input into the 220 unit. I'm evaluating the 450 frequency with the idea someday might put some 450 equipment up here. It operates in the 440 portion of the amateur band. Here I've got a microprocessor, a commercial unit that allows me to have absolute control over most functions of the repeater, and also provides an auto patch, and gives me a capability to extend to some other antennas and other functions at some later date. Right now I haven't used this unit to its fullest. The big voice here is the Spectrum Communication SCR1000. It puts out about 65 watts and has a tremendous receiver in it. And the audio is quite an improvement over the other two versions of